Well, it is 2025, and I've got just one question. Are Excalibur shells still good? I've really been wondering this for a while, and it just so happens that I also collect fireworks, which means I have some original Excalibur shells for you today. I'm not talking about these. Guys, I'm talking about the ones that came out in 2012 when these things were #1 on the market. So I figured since I just wanted to do, now I actually have a full case of these things sitting in a warehouse, but because they're kind of vintage and one of the staple fireworks from my childhood, I only brought out 6 of them. We're gonna be testing these out. These are the ones from 2012. It gets better. Additionally, I have some of the ones from 2015 when they started introducing the plastic top. So we're literally gonna be testing out every type of Excalibur shell that has ever come out, minus the vintage retro style label ones, and minus the 2020 edition that came out, which honestly is a lot like these. It's just the black box that has these shells in it. But because we have the platinums, I mean, these are definitely better than those anyway. I've already done a video on the black box. If you guys want to check that out, I'll leave a link in the description. But today we're going to be putting Excalibur shells up to the test against some of the leading shell kits on the market, including some that are overloaded. Now, the reason why I'm making this video is because in 2025, in my mind, why would you ever buy a canister shell that doesn't have 120 grams of break in it? I just so happen to also have some of those shells right here. These things weigh about 4 times the amount of an Excalibur shell. And it's not even gonna be a fair comparison, but just to show you what else is actually out there in 2025, I figured we would also bring those out here to test against something everybody knows, the Excalibur. So what I'm gonna do is show you the shell kits I've chosen to bring out here today. We're gonna get them all loaded up into these tubes over here. And if you wanna take a look at that line, I mean, this is ridiculous what we're doing. Like, that's 90 some tubes over there. I think we have 96 shells in total, so this is gonna be an absolute epic canister shell comparison video. What's even nicer is a lot of times when you watch canister shell comparisons on YouTube, nobody has a baseline thing that everybody knows about and can relate to when they test the bigger products. So today we literally have every type of Excalibur shell that has ever come out. So for those of you that have been using Excalibur shells your entire life, you can now compare what you're about to see in this video to some of the other shell kits we're gonna be testing and know exactly the differences. So obviously we have the Excalibur Platinum here. This is a 24 shell kit. You get 24 of them inside. They look like that. These shells perform a lot better than your standard Excalibur shells, which obviously we have right here, the 2015 edition and the 2012 edition. The only edition, like I said earlier, that I'm missing is the one with the retro packaging. I do have some of those shells, but they're so special to me, I just would hate to light them off because they barely exist anymore. Going up against the Excaliburs, we've got the Raging Bull 5-inch canister shells by Mad Ox Fireworks, the Super Stinger 6-inch canister shells by Fire Factory brand, and these things have some mines in them. So again, we're gonna be seeing, you know, what else has been added to canister shells over time. Back in 2012, you were lucky if you found Excaliburs because they just go up and produce a really big break and they were super loud. But these days, you can also get additional effects with your canister shells, such as comets and mines, like we're going to see inside of this kit. We have some of the XL Neon Predator shells by Great Grizzly brand. We got the Munchies here, one of my favorites, by Pyro High brand. 6 shells inside, just like the other kits, and they're gonna be 5 inches in length. So that's the other thing I really wanted to make a point on is when I say 5 and 6 inch, I don't mean diameter, I mean length. In other countries, I know that can be very confusing. So when I say a 6-inch shell, you guys from Europe probably think I'm talking about a huge shell about this big. Well, in America, when you say 6-inch and we're talking about canister shells, we're talking about it in length. All right, these ones down here on the end, I can't remember what they are. Smoke and Mirrors by CodyBPyrotechnics. This is another staple in the firework industry. Just like the Excalibur shells, those of you who didn't purchase those, maybe they weren't available in your area, this definitely would have been another go-to kit back in the day. Right here we've got some from kind of a strange brand. These are called the Screamin' Demon shells. I've never seen them, but based on the name, I'm kind of hoping they have a whistle tail on the way up. Now this is another kit of canister shells by Great Grizzly brand, but these ones are called the Tiki Bombs. And those were 6-inch canister shells whereas these over here were 5. Now these shells right here are brand new for 2025. They are also by World Class Fireworks. So much like the Excalibur packaging, you can see those similarities. They're both by the same brand. And you can even see over the years how that World Class logo has changed. Unfortunately, I cannot remember what these shells were called. I recently went to Star Fireworks and they gave me a pack of these to test out. They are 6-inch canister shells, so a lot bigger than anything else we've seen by World Class. I want to say these are called Pure Pyro. I don't know. I just know that they're new. And one thing I do appreciate about World Class Fireworks is they include this nice high-density polyethylene tube. If we come back over here to where I have some of my other miscellaneous tubes set up, you can see most of them are just fiberglass. The trouble with that is this tube will still last you a very long time, but the high density polyethylene, I actually have tubes that I've been using since 2012 and they still work and function like they're supposed to. Top quality stuff. All right, getting a little bit bigger here, we have some 7-inch canister shells. So like, look at this in comparison to the original Excalibur shells. It is night and day. So these days in 2025, we're able to buy 7 all the way up to 8-inch canister shells. These ones here are by Fire Factory brand again, and they're called the Quadzilla. I've got 6 of them, no tube with that. All right, now the moment you've all been waiting for. So I know there's no way to show you guys how heavy these shells are in real life because you're not here with me, but I can assure you, picking this thing up, it's a 7-inch canister shell. They're called Thriller. This thing weighs about as much as a 200-gram cake. So when we send these up, yeah, it's gonna smoke everything else that we have in the lineup, but that's just the name of the game when it comes to OL style product. You'll also notice some bloody handprints on here, and that's kind of reminiscent of the death shells. Now the death shells, even though those were what, 5 or 6-inch shells, these are kind of their predecessor. Is that right? Because that precedes, these preceded the death shells.
Yeah, predecessor, so it's like your...
I need to go back to school. Either way, these shells are gonna be absolutely fantastic, and they're kind of a hard find, and when you do find them, they're super expensive. For a 24 kit of Excalibur Platinum shells, at a good price, you can find those for $100. Same type of shell kit, 24 of these, gonna cost you $350. So yeah, this is gonna be a lot of fun, and I can't wait for you guys to see these. So we obviously have a lot of work to do. I mean, let's show that line again. We have to load up 96 canister shells in total, and so we're gonna do that. We'll get back to you when it's done. Well, I'd say it's dark enough to start lighting off our absolute beast of a canister shell line. Starting down here, these are the 2012 Excalibur shells. Let's just go ahead and see one of those, and then we'll do the rest. Vintage canister shell, 2012. Nice. Still work to this day. All right, so while that's fresh in your head, let's show you what you can buy in 2025. 7-inch canister shell, Thriller. Yeah. Night and day. All right, so now the 2015 version of Excals with the plastic top. If I remember right, these were a little bit better than the 2012 version. Ooh, maybe not. I don't know. Let's see the rest of the 2012 Excalibur shells. If you don't get them all, it's fine. Here we go. All right, something. Whoa! Old fuses. That's that 2012 exclusive fuse. All right, we found out we got one left of the 2012s. Yep, I think these are a lot better than the plastic top 2015 version. Excalibur shells 2015 with the plastic top. Let's see 5 of them. Yep, these are nowhere near as good as the 2012s. That's really interesting. I don't remember it being like that. And we have one left of those. All right, these are the big kahunas. Look at the shell and look at the tube. So we put that in there and it's already at the top. Let's just go ahead and do this one on its own just because of this. This is the 7-inch Thriller. All right, compare this to the Excal. Oh my God. There's no comparison. Let's see 4 of those bad boys. This is gonna be absolutely gnarly. Wow. Good Lord. Now we got the smoke and mirrors. This is gonna be a lot like Excalibur shells. For those of you who couldn't get Excals, you probably could get these by Brothers Pyrotechnics. This is one single smoke and mirrors shell. Kind of like the 2012 version of Excals there. Here goes the last 5 smoke and mirrors. This should be good. Pretty nice. Very similar to the 2012 Excals. And now we got the Raging Bull. This is our first 5-inch canister shell. Well, I mean, we did the 7, but 5-inch can, a little bit bigger than Excals. Let's see one of them. Oh yeah, there is a difference there. All right, we got 5 more of those left. Let's see a nice little barrage. Raging Bull. Wow. I think that's second best next to the 7-inch cans. And we got one left of the Raging Bull. Yeah, those are nice cans. Okay, moving on, we've got the XL Neon Pyro Predator shells by Great Grizzly. These ones I think are going to be best so far. Well, I don't know, can't tell. We're going to have to see a few more. Here goes the rest. Those make a really fun sound on the way out. Very cool. All right, these are the Raptor shells by Screamin' Demon. I thought the shells were called Screamin' Demon, but as it turns out, they're not. So let's see what one of these does. This is a 4-inch can Raptor by Screamin' Demon. Okay, so these are like the 2015 Excals. Here goes the rest of those. Yeah, those are not great. So these are Tiki Bomb by Great Grizzly. This is a, I think our first 6-inch canister shell of the night. These might have some sort of mine effect. We'll see. Nope. Oh, it's a double break. All right, I like that. Oh, this will be fun. So now we're gonna hit the rest of the tiki bombs because they're double break and we have 5 left. That means we're gonna have 10 breaks up in the sky. Okay, we missed one, but check it out. Here we go. Nice, look at that. We lost just about all of our wind. Okay, next one up, we got the Munchies here by Pyro High. All right, decent. Here goes the rest of them, all 5. All right, kind of low on the brakes there. That's weird. Never seen that. Okay, these ones here, gonna have to record them in wide angle because the Super Stinger 6-inch canister shells, they also have like mines and comets, all sorts of cool stuff. So let's just see one of them. We'll show you what they're all about. All right, here we go. Wide angle, Super Stinger. Look at that, all the way up. All right, here goes the remaining 5 of those, also in wide angle. So far, those are the best of the night. All right, this one here is the Quadzilla by Fire Factory. Now, they're calling it Quadzilla, so I have to assume they are quadruple brakes. Let's just test one and see what it does. This is a 6-inch shell, potentially quad brakes. Yep. Whoa. Here goes potentially the last 5 of those. Wow. Yep, those are some of my favorites. Okay, these are those new world-class shells. They're either called like Pyro Power or Pure Pyro, I can't remember. But these are the new 2025 edition 6-inch canister shells. Oh yeah, those are significantly better than Excals. Yeah, those are some of the best world-class shells that I've seen. All right, last in line, but certainly not least, we've got the Excalibur Platinums. This is kind of like their redemption product and kind of bringing it back with the hype that the Excaliburs had back in the day. This is the next best thing, better effects, they go higher and they're louder. Let's see all 24 shells in the kit. Excalibur Platinum. This is like a $200 shell kit these days, depending on where you go. Big heavy brakes. These are nice. A lot nicer than some of the other ones. Wow, that's a shell. Kind of a slow fuse. Whoa, that was like a Little salute. Oh my God. A lot of these are flash broken like that one. Wow. Jeez. It's like a report. You guys can probably see that center. Yeah. These are borderline salute shells. Let's see if we missed any. Well, it looks like it worked. We'll just walk on down here and check every one of these tubes. I think we got every single canister shell tonight. Man, this was, I mean, look at the line goes on and on and on. I'd say this was definitely worth it. Lots of fun. Our Excalibur shell's still good in 2025. You can make your own assumptions, but the 2012s, nothing beats them.